So have you ever had one of those days that's just dreary and you just kind of feel like, nah, I don't feel like doing anything today. I don't feel like eating. I don't feel like doing anything. Just kind of mopey. Well, today was one of those days. I ended up getting up and going to see my therapist and talking to him, and he asked me if I want to get out of my head because I was talking to him about the borderline personality disorder. And he wrote on his whiteboard, "Get out of my head." And I'm like, thought about it, and I said, I don't know how to answer that, because a lot of the times I talk really fast and I talk in circles where I'll start on this topic and jump to this topic, then this one, and back to the original one. And I do it really fast. And he said that's part of the borderline. And I've talked to him about other things I do. I've been seeing him for about a year now, and every 2 weeks. So he's gotten to know me and my habits and the things I do, the way I don't make eye contact, the way I talk fast, the way I am the way I am. And, in the beginning, of course, I was nervous, in a way, but not so much because I've seen so many therapists that it's just another therapist. So he's pretty cool though. He's 28 years old, newlywed, things like that. I try not to get too personal, but yet you're getting personal with me. We kind of look at it that way. But he thinks I don't have ADHD, and I said, well, I used to. And he goes, that is, and I said, I've heard that's something you can grow out of. And he said, yes, you can. But as for everything else, yeah, he believes that, the ADD and the borderline personality disorder and bipolar and PTSD, all that fun stuff. And we were talking about borderline, and he wrote on his whiteboard, he has a big whiteboard, dry erase board, and every time I go into his office when I first get there, there's something written on it, for the most part. And I looked at it because it was sideways, and I looked at it and I said, oh, is that what we're working on today? And he goes, no, that's always, for the last person. I said, damn, it looks interesting. He goes, we can if you want. I'm like, no, I'm all right. So he wrote, get out of your head, because he pulls it out when he has an idea. And it's like, maybe he writes it because it sinks in differently than if he just says it. But I said, get out of my head. And he goes, yeah, do you want to get out of your head? And I'm thinking, what the fuck does that mean? Because I've done research. I did research last night, actually. I watched some videos about borderline, I always forget the name of it, borderline personality disorder. I did some research, and you actually can go into remission, and it can take a year, it can take 5 years, 10 years, 16 years. And I asked Tyler about that, my therapist. I said, how the hell does that work? And he said, it depends how much work you put into it. And I'm like, how much work you put into it? How do you do that? How is that possible? Because I showed him a video. I'm going to put a link in here let me write that down, because you know, if I don't write it down, I'm gonna forget it. I'm gonna put a link here, because it's so good. I think I'm gonna subscribe to this doctor, because he's a psychiatrist, and what he had to say was just so good. And I shared it with David and with Tyler. I showed him the link with Tyler because I couldn't, it's a 35-minute video, and I couldn't have him watch it because my session is like an hour, so I couldn't have him take that much time to watch it. But I showed him the name of the video, the doctor's name, and showed him, you know, a screenshot, if you want to call it that, so he knows what to look for. Because I joked at the end and I said, don't forget to watch that video. And he goes, I won't. And I said, you might learn something from it. He goes, what if I don't learn anything from it? I said, well, then you're fired. How did I say that? Shit, sorry. Brain fart. It was basically, if he learns something from it, I'm firing him. And if he doesn't learn something, then he's fired. Something along those lines. But it was just joking, because that's how I am. That's how we are. But I said, I hope you learn something from it. Because maybe there is. Because out of all the years that I was diagnosed with this, I could read all this stuff, and I could do all this research, and I still couldn't figure out exactly what it was, because I was so confused, because I have bipolar, and they kind of mingle, they kind of go back and forth, you know. Well, this happens because of bipolar, but that happens from the borderline. But now you mix them together, and you have a shitstorm cake. It's chocolatey, if you're lucky. So I found this video and I watched it, and like I said, I will post it because it was such a good video. I actually finally learned something about it, and that's why I said about getting out of your head, that you can learn stuff, I guess, how to cope differently because of how borderline is. And when David watched it, he's like, oh my God, that is you. And I'm like, I know. So there's no question on is absolutely what I have. Just because every single thing that this video was about was as if this doctor was reading a script from my life. So I guess the therapy part of it is learn how not to do that such thing. Learn how to do that instead. And that's supposed to be how therapy, that's how therapy is supposed to be. Not if they don't know. Not if they don't know that's how you are supposed to do things. I am really jittery in my chair tonight. I'm sorry. It's like 2:30 in the morning, 3 o'clock. Oh shit. It is actually 3:15 in the morning. I just got up a few hours ago. My sleep schedule is really goofy. This diazepam, I believe, is the culprit, because I'm like, oh, I'll just go take a nap. Naps are supposed to be like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, not 5, 6, 7 o'clock at night. My sleep schedule is so screwy. My appetite, I mean, it was like, I don't know, I was making breakfast for myself. And it was delicious. But when David was up, I don't know, he made some casserole. I said, what did you make? casserole. When he says that, you should be scared because you don't know what it is. Like later on, I asked him, "So what was in it?" And he's like, "Julienne potatoes," and I'm like, "I thought it was something else." And he's like, "No," because he likes to use shredded potatoes. It's 3:15 in the morning. I can't think. I'm in a like giddy mood. Maybe because I slept. That usually is the case where, and I think that's for most people, not just people who are fucking crazy. But no, just, you know, and I guess that's just been proven. If you don't get adequate sleep, you're more moody, you're more crabby, you're more edgy. You get the picture. Where if you get some good sleep, you're in a much better mood, you're happier. But I'm just plain goofy. I don't know if that, I was going to make a joke about Pluto, you know, Donald Duck, Goofy. I think you get it. But I explained to Tyler about that I've been doing the YouTube videos and that I'm satisfied, even though it hasn't been very long since I started, but that I'm doing them for me, and I'd be really happy if it helped somebody else, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. But it helps me. You know how they say journaling? Do journaling. That'll make you feel better. Well, I don't feel like writing. I do better at speaking, but that's my opinion. But I am better at that. So that's why I decided to take up YouTube. Is this good? Doing YouTube videos. I've been loosening up and having more fun doing my videos. Sometimes I will do a certain topic. This topic will be on borderline personality disorder, and I guess trying to get into remission. And I really don't understand the point A to point B. You know, okay, how do you start here? And when you get to here, how do you know? You know, it's going to be a long journey, but from what I know, I'm going to live a while yet. As for getting into my head, or getting out of my head, was that what it was? Let me see. I gotta check my phone, because that's where my life is. That's where, otherwise I'd be lost. Get out of your head. You know, I didn't give him an answer. Because I'm still stuck. I'm almost 40. Yeah, I'm almost 43. We'll go with that. I'm almost 53. I'm used to being in this head. I'm used to being this way. So when I have been diagnosed with the ADD, we'll leave out the ADHD because we're just not sure about that. So we'll leave that part out. But when I was offered medication for that, the Adderall, I think is what it is. When I was offered that medication to help me with it, I passed it up. I said, you know, this is me. This is who I am. This is how I am. I don't want to take a medication that's going to change me. That would just, to me, be awkward. That's why I don't script my shit, so I can fuck it up. I hate scripting. I tried it a couple of times, and I fumble my words, and I can't see, so blah blah blah. So anyway, you know, do I want to get out of my head? If I get out of my head, where am I going to be? In a better place? That would be the idea, right? Wouldn't that be the idea? If you get out of this, let's just say, dark place that's in your head, and you find a lighter place, a happier place, wouldn't that be someplace you'd want to be? You would think so. Or you can just be lazy and say, no, we'll just keep it how it is. It's good enough. There is a such thing as good enough. I read about an article about relationship that's good enough. So it's like, get out of my head. Do I want to change? Is that why I'm not happy most of the time? Because of this weight called my head. God, I don't even know what to say. I just am so, maybe I'll address this. If I say yes, I want to get out of my head, what does that entail? What are we going to do? Kind of, what's your game plan? And if I say no, I think he said if I say no. No, he didn't. But I know he made a point of, then why are you here? Maybe that had something to do with it. I was so confused by that. In other words, he's asking me, if I don't want help, why am I seeing him? And I've already told him. Because my last therapist, he was a psychologist. And to me, a therapist compared to a psychologist has more schooling and more experience, and and that's why I went to him, because I felt like he could handle me more, where these therapists, I feel like they can just get a course at the local school and get just a license, like a driver's license. If you want to compare to that, a driver's license versus 4 CDLs where you can drive a semi. I guess I can compare it to that kind of thing, where you have just your therapist versus your more educated psychologist. So that's why I wanted the psychologist, because I felt like he could handle me more. He would have more answers. He would have more education. He would have, and that's why I decided to go to him. He just sat there with his leg crossed and really didn't say much. Tyler does that too. Drives me crazy. It's like, fucking talk. Ask me questions. Ask me what my fucking problem is. So now he's put this question upon me. Now what do I do with it? He wants me to work. Because that's just it. He doesn't have to do the work I do. So the question is, if I say no, he even said, why you come here? That was really bad grammar. Why do I go and see him? I said, because I need somebody to vent to. I need somebody to talk to about my problems. I need somebody to try to help me kind of maneuver through my life of mental illness. Mental illnesses. I can't do it alone. So I need somebody that, knows a little more than me. Somebody who has more than just a driver's license. So I know I'm going to say yes, because I'm a very curious being, and I want to see what he has to offer, and what questions, what direction things are going to go in. Am I scared? Yeah. Because when you have lived a certain way for so long, you don't want to change, because you're used to being one way, and you don't want to change. Because I hate change. I hate change. It's scary. And if I say no, I'm afraid he's going to say, well, then I can't help you. And I'm going to be evicted. It's probably true. So, with that, I don't know, I gotta find some grub. I haven't eaten, I don't think I've eaten all day, because I ate late this morning, and I wasn't really hungry all day. My stomach was pretty upset all day. I don't really know why. Right now, the seasons are changing. That means I'm changing. The depression is starting to set in, to where I don't really want to do anything. It's getting rough, and this is just the beginning. And I should start kind of maybe doing this YouTube channel will help me discover, does my depression get worse every year? But then again, maybe the depression has a lot to do with the situation, as in, what's going on in my life at the time. I'm sure that has a lot to do with it, but I know a lot of it has to do with the weather. Not if it's snowing, not if the leaves are falling, not, stuff like that. It's not what I'm talking about. I honestly believe, and this is just absolutely insanely crazy, and I've not looked it up. It's just something that my dad used to have a barometer, and it was on the wall, and I never understood it. But my theory, it's just a theory, I know I've read that the barometric pressure can have an effect on pregnant women, that when it's at a certain point, they can go into labor because of the barometric pressure. Now I'm wondering if the barometric pressure has to do with the bipolar and the borderline and things, your mental health. I'm wondering if that has anything to do with it, and I should do some research on that, and if I come up with anything worthwhile, do a video about it, even though it probably wouldn't be very long. This one wasn't supposed to be long either, but I'm long-winded, and it's just the way I am. I like to have some content, not just, hey, how's it going, this is happening, and bada boom, bada bing, we're done. I like to give my audience, my prescribers, I believe that those are the ones that give you pills. My subscribers, I like to give them, a little bit of content, something fun, not so, something positive on a negative. To me, my mental issues are negative. They hurt me. They don't make me. But then, I asked my former psychiatrist, who am I? I don't know who I am. I know I'm fucked up. That's what I know. So, if, you can put your 2 cents in on what you think. If you have borderline personality disorder, let me know if you're in remission. If you're in remission and how long it took. If you're in remission and what you had to do to get there. That would be really amazing for me to know. I would really like to know that. So if you wouldn't mind putting it in the comments of how, and your journey, I guess, or maybe a small journey, just, a few sentences, a few lines, just, or some encouragement, anything to help me out, because I'm scared. I'm not scared like Halloween scary. I'm scared as in the future and how much I'm going to change. Am I going to change? Am I going to be a different person? I hope that this improves me, which I would guess they wouldn't put you through something that would make you more of an ass, because I can be an ass. Watch. No, I'm just kidding. But you know, you hope that they are there, they have the answers, they have the magic wand. You know, that'd be fantastic. But I'm scared of what it's gonna make me be, what it's gonna turn me into. Am I gonna change that much that David isn't gonna like the new me? But maybe then I'll dress sexier. Anything helps. But anyway, yeah, it is 3 o'clock in the morning, and I don't really know what else to say about this. I think that I've pretty much summed it up. I will definitely keep tabs on, you know, the situation. Obviously, it's stupid if I wouldn't, but I will keep making videos about this, and I will put that video or that link in the bottom in the comments area or in the description. I'll put it in the description. So let me know what you think of that video. I'd really like to know what you think, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day and tomorrow and the rest of your life, and have a great one.